Welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to cheer your friends and get your game goodness each and every Monday. My name's John Blunt. Joining me on the couch this week, Ashley Hobley.
Hey, John. Excited to be here to talk about sand.
Beach.
What's the sound this week?
Beach. Sand. Ball. Volleyball. Also, Ciaran Merchant.
Hi.
Is that Nintendo Switch? Sorry, I'm doing the same bit twice.
You know what? I'm gonna start like just slightly moving it around the book.
It's the fact that you left it up there, I think, is what.
Just haven't moved it, you know.
Yeah.
Just fuck it. Just haven't moved it at all.
Why not?
I don't have a lot to talk about this week. I'll talk about Death Stranding and Dune because that's all that we didn't get to talk about last week with Ciaran. So, but check in, Ciaran. I assume you haven't touched that thing for a week.
Yeah, no, I've not actually touched it.
Yeah,
in a week. Yeah,
that's fair. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Now,
I was waiting. I've tried a couple of times to be like, "Hey, do anybody want to play Mario Kart World?" That was like a week ago, though. Everybody has always shot me down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're picking the wrong night. You asked the night that means.
Thing is,
Did you drop the challenge?
nobody has then extended the invitation back to me. Hey, do you want to play some Mario Kart? Nobody's done that.
Well, Death Stranding 2 came out then.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I'll have you know I played like several hours the other day. Mario Kart.
Good. Then why did? Where was it? Hey, Ciaran.
It was in the middle of the
You
day.
got a
I assume you're at
notification,
work.
right?
I assume you're at work. It
That's
was
how
in
it
the middle of the day.
Oh, okay,
No.
fair enough.
Yeah,
I can't do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
I
You
have
work a normal Monday to Friday, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. This was on like a Wednesday. Yeah. Some of us work most weekends. Yuck, indeed. Did you now? Me and Ash obviously talked about it last week. Did you watch any of that Donkey Kong?
No.
Okay. I feel like you should at least check out the trailer for that because
I'm already going to be grabbing it. Like it's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to buy games to make my purchase mean something, you know. So it's not a complete and utter waste. So
I don't know if that's how. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's how that works.
That's how it works for me. Is I have to get the first parties if I've bought it. I have to buy all the first parties now.
But what if you don't play it? You're just buying it to own it? Or?
No. I'll buy it to play it. How much I play it, different question. But I'll buy it to play it.
What if you play it to own it? Have you considered that?
I can't. I have to own it first before I can play it.
Now let me pitch you something. So this Donkey Kong game, right? Now this is the big breaking news from a week ago. But I want you. I don't. Considering you don't often read the big news, right?
Yeah.
Here's what I want to break to you.
Is it that it's a singing one with the chick from Mario Odyssey?
Pauline, right?
Pauline, yeah. But it's a prequel because she's younger.
Correct.
She's not Maya yet.
Pauline was also the same character that Donkey Kong kidnaps in the original Donkey Kong game when Mario jumps up and saves.
Yeah.
So, storyline of character is Donkey Kong has been kidnapping Pauline for games across probably 5-6 games, right? Now, Donkey Kong is always stopped by Mario, who saves Pauline. Pauline later becomes the mayor, right? Who we know. However, this game is now setting up that we have had it wrong for years. Now, I want your opinions on this hard-hitting topic of 2025.
So, look.
She could be friends with Donkey Kong. Mario could be the bad guy.
This is the same thing. No. So now we have... No. Let's take it. Let's go a layer further, right? Let's go a layer fucking further. It's a pattern now. It's not just a one-off with one person. Because Peach is exactly the same.
Yeah, it's true, actually.
Peach just keeps getting fucking captured by Bowser.
Captured,
exactly. The fact that she even gets moved around between different castles of his.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, we're told to believe that the greasy Italian plumber is the hero of the story.
Those stories, yeah, it's true.
Not the Donkey Kong that is a business ready man who has his little tie done up. He's fucking working construction. He's a businessman. Or fucking a king of the Koopas. You know how much he's dealing with? He's probably fucking just deciding to randomly missile another country somewhere without without fucking the Koopas' approval and interaction, you know? He's got a lot on his shoulders, Bowser, and so maybe we've got it the wrong way around this entire time.
Yeah.
I don't think so. And I'm shocked.
Mario's just that, abusive ex-boyfriend who keeps showing up and messing with your new relationships. And
Mario is Brad Pitt from Shutter Island.
Mario's Brad Pitt.
No, he's Chris Pratt.
No, he's
What?
Brad Pitt. It's just Peach and Pauline never age, so they're never out of his window.
Fucking Angelina Jolie's Peach trying to escape from Brad Pitt. But
Toad's the kids.
they don't have a last name because they removed it. Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Damn straight.
They keep telling him she's in another castle.
Yeah. Just string him along. Yeah. Come on, Brad. It's a me. Yeah. Anyway, I feel like I do feel like more people need to be talking about this hard hitting issue, and I'm shocked that I'm seeing more articles about it in the last week.
Law breakdowns, but they're just waiting for the game to come out so they can confirm the new canon.
New canon, yeah, sure. It'd be like that day they put out that Zelda book. Remember where it had like it had
the different timeline and
two different timelines and broke everyone's brains.
Yeah,
no, it wasn't like a part of like some exhibit. It was like
I don't know if it was, but
it was like
No, I
a thing
thought
on
it was
the
a book.
wall of an exhibit.
Maybe it was at a museum first, but they definitely released it then in a book that like the 35th anniversary or something. So but it broke it.
Oh, because it put something in the same timeline as Majora's Mask. I think it put like Wind Waker in the same timeline as Majora's Mask or some shit. I can't remember.
I never cared. I'm like, these are all just games, man. I'm not trying to make Zelda timelines make sense. Each game's a new game. Anyway. All right, yeah. So two things to talk about. First, Death Stranding 2, right? Death Stranding 2 is out. I haven't played as much as I'd like. That is the sad news. But I've put about 6-7 hours in. That is it. I've only played one session so far. Ash is nodding his head because he's like, that's the same amount you told me several days ago. You're correct. I haven't touched it since.
Yes. I think it's very funny. I've only put like 2 hours in. And strangely, only 2 people on my friend list have played the game.
Really?
There's you, who I saw the other day, 6 hours.
Yeah.
And our good friend Nicholas Pryor.
Yeah.
Similar kind of hours the other day.
Yeah.
About 31 when I checked today.
Yeah.
I was put into the game, so
beast.
Good work, Nick.
Yeah. Now,
put in the work.
My same thing is 6-7 hours because I just keep, the day I was talking to Ash about it, I said I prioritized doing my house chores that day, which was the truth.
Like
Since then, that was my one day off this week. 1 day off. That's 6 days of work, right? Every other day after work, I've been coming home doing some work instead. I'll put up 2 Nintendo Switch reviews this week, as I'm finally beginning to knock those out, which I'm not going to talk about because I've talked about the games enough, but my Mario Kart World review's up and my Welcome Tour review's up. In order, I wrote down an order I want to do them all. So I want to do Welcome Tour, did that. Mario Kart World Tour, do that. Next up, I'm going to put a review up for the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller. Then I'm going to do Bravely Default. Then I want to do the Zelda remake things. And then finally, I'll post my Nintendo Switch 2 console review, which I figured doing last would make sense because then I can insert some snippets from the game reviews. Anyway, Death Stranding 2. 6-7 hours. So far, I've not left Mexico. And this is what makes me be like, I can't really talk about this much because obviously the majority of the game in Australia. I'll say this. It is my fault. I could have left Mexico by now.
But you were just wandering around.
Like, no, I need to 5-star all these.
Correct.
These locations.
Correct. The game's like, go here to do the mission where I presume the next story beat will happen and send me to Australia. And I'm like, you know what I could do instead?
You know what that presumption is, though?
Trying to 5-star the...
That presumption is
just keep walking.
That presumption for you is a presumption. You're going to get to that point eventually, and it's not going to send you Australia. It's going to send you like deeper off the side of Mexico.
You need to go walk all the way back to America.
No, my current job's to walk back to America.
Oh, okay.
Because you're on the outskirts of America.
You need to walk to Colombia.
And then I walked to Mexico and did the thing. Yeah. But I'll say this: one of the items you get for like getting one of the optional
5 stars
people's up is like, so it's like an item that says it'll help you find the unrevealed like locations of places. I'm like, well, that's handy when I get to Australia.
That's fair. Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah, very brief impressions, I guess. And then Ash, what did you say? 2 hours?
2 hours, yeah.
Yeah. I think the start of the game is great. I think it's a very sweet start to the game. Just Norman Reedus playing with a baby for an hour, I think. And being like, don't take my baby, Fragile, you bitch. Get out of here. What are you trying to send me to Mexico for? Very sweet. And I think I just love seeing that relationship start the game, especially with how much I obviously really enjoyed the first game. And whenever anyone's questioned about why I have a baby in a bottle in my living room, I'm like, yeah, but it's just that's lewd.
How many people have
living
done
room?
that? Sorry, how many people have done that now?
How many people in this room?
Every single fucking person that's I moved it to my.
How many people have you had in your living room?
5.
Okay, and how many of those aren't family members?
1. Still. But I mean, there's a baby in bottle there, So I really like the start of the game. And then I think across the first, from what I've played, so far it's basically just Death Stranding. I'm presuming most of the new stuff will come once you get to Australia and so on. The only new stuff so far sort of been the camera will dip into like sort of more cinematic view sometimes as you're walking along and doing stuff. But otherwise, I'm not saying this in a negative way at all because I'm spending a lot of time in the tutorial section. The game just starts you off slowly with like, hey, walk across here, do some stuff, or whatever. I was also like, I don't know if I'm finding this easier because I played through the first one twice or whatever. But like anytime the game was like, the couple times it sort of forced you into combat, I just didn't do it. I was like, I'm not doing it. Like, I just go around. Like, what do you like? The first time it sends you through I assume you got to it, Ash. Just like
I just about to go where you have to go into a bandit camp and collect.
No, like there as well. But the first time when you're heading into Mexico and you cross like
there's
highway
like this
or
big,
whatever. There's a big area of a bunch of people. I'm like, I'm not going in there. I'll just go around it. Like, what are you talking about? Why do I don't need to get involved with combat with anyone. Why, I'm not doing that. That's silly. It's silly to get involved in combat. I'm not doing that. Yeah. And even when I get to the camp that you're up to, I just snuck around. I think I knocked out 2 people, snuck around, got the things I needed, and left. Yeet. Like, don't need to just be sneaky. The best thing, they've added a few quality of life things, like you can hold up on the control now to access like a quick access function to your backpack, and one of the options is the ability just to straight drop your backpack and everything that's on it. So like when you get to that section, I had some stuff there and I'm like, well, I just want to stealth through this whole area, grab when I need to come back and grab the stuff. It's like I just dropped my backpack and everything on the ground and then just stealthed around, come back, grabbed it. So being able to do that quickly is quite good. But also you can now, one of the most painful things from the first game, especially someone who platinumed it and had to do a shit ton of deliveries and got sick of it, was every time you would pick up, like say you picked up 5-6 lost deliveries to bring to some place, you had to like each one like you had to XX, like each one got delivered separately. Now if you show up with one, it just on one screen, it's like ding, there you go, delivered all at once. So just some quality of life features.
That's from because even like that's what it is on the director's cut of Death Stranding 1.
I don't remember that, and I played it, but there you go. Ash, what do you think? 2 out of 2.
Very pretty. Music's great. Like, I mean, the opening
cutscene, I kept being like, "Is this real?" But then every now and then I'd see some footage that I was like, "No, it's a video game." But
no, and even just like him walking with Lou to their new house. That whole sequence is really like gets you back into the mood and of imagining and like how the game's played and all that kind of stuff, and then just like the amount of worlds stuff, like there's rock slides and there's fucking rivers that like get larger and that kind of stuff, and all the rain effects and all that kind of stuff. Very pretty game. I'm like getting into the vibe again. It's like it is a little bit of a case of you need to be in the mood to play the game because there's a lot of walking and like focusing and like that kind of stuff. With the combat, for some reason I just could not see the bad guys. Like they just kind of blended into the background.
You can like open your binoculars and mark them all, right?
No, but I thought I had. I walked into a base and I walked into like I thought there's just one guy there. Take him out, and then there's like a bunch of people start to attack. The battle music starts up, and it's like all these people start running in. Like, where the hell are these people coming from? And no, that's probably just a me thing.
Yeah, that's a you thing. That's fine.
So, I mean, there's a few like technical things I'd like to be able to do. Like, I'd like to change the size of some of the fonts stuff because there is a lot of text that shows up in a lot of times. Whether it's you're picking up chrysanthemums or whatever they're called, the little creatures, or like apparently you've unlocked like 50 different things in the journal or whatever. So that would be nice if I could bolden that up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, early days. It looks very pretty. I'm optimistic about it. I mean, I've heard some things I'm concerned about, that kind of stuff, but like the reviews have been obviously very good and like, yeah, very positive.
I'm so glad currently, and knock wood, but I've had nothing spoiled for me at all, which I'm very happy for. And
I saw somebody say they wish there was more of a warning about certain stuff that pops up in the game.
As in, like, content warning?
Content warning, yeah.
Like scary things?
Depends. Yeah.
Or like sensitive topics.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Well, the first game was scary as fuck. In terms of like the PTs and stuff. Not the BTs, the BTs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My man's Mikkelsen impression. Yeah, and apparently that trailer had the launch trailer is like 6 minutes of spoilers, so I didn't watch that. So,
oh no, did you watch a recap video?
No, I flicked through that one in the game, but honestly, I feel like
the photo slide, the slideshow with
I definitely feel like I feel coming into this as someone who's like I'm pretty big fan of this game
twice, yes.
Played it twice, yeah. Like I felt confident. That was good.
No, I watched the IGN one that they did recently.
Was that good?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I feel like the game's less complicated than people. I know, like that's one thing to say, but I feel like once you like boil it down, it's less complicated than it may seem when you're playing it. Like it's wild.
What, the plot?
Yeah, I think that's straight the general plot. Like the thing if you accept the world for what it is, like obviously it's more complicated if you're trying to look for answers to things the game doesn't give you. But I think on paper, like what the main story isn't as complicated as. Like it is explainable.
The thing is, for you,
it's explainable. Yes.
For you though, it's you're like the best case, right? You've played the shit out of Death Stranding 1. Like you have platinum that game, so you out of anybody, you should have the best working knowledge of that universe and that story, right? Like, so I guess anybody who's had that middling way with it or could still get lost with it.
Yeah, even the it's funny when you flick through the previously on recappy slideshow thing that's in the games menu, it just skips over explaining stuff like Mads Mikkelsen's character and things they're like don't even mention him. They're like
not really important for this game.
Yeah, they're not important for this game, so we're not going to mention it. It only mentions the stuff that's important to this game. It's like, hey, this is who Sam is. This is what he did, connected to the stuff. This is who Fragile is. This is who Deadman is. That's about it, to be honest.
Does it explain who Troy?
Oh no, it mentions who Die Hard meant. Who Troy? It mentions who Troy Baker's character is. So it mentions that he got beat. Doesn't explain why he's going to come back in this one, but I'll find
with
out.
Tentacles.
Yeah, with tentacles. Find out. Time will tell. With a guitar.
Because
Australia, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, keen to keep playing that, of course. I also have the collector's edition unboxed. I'm sorry, still boxed in my lounge room, so that's lovely. Ciaran, you've been playing a lot of Dune, the
Awakening.
MMO. Awakening, sorry, I'm RPG. Now, my first question, just to set the table.
Yeah.
You have not watched the films.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But you're a big book fan, right?
No.
Do you know who wrote the books?
A big David Lynch film fan.
No.
Do you know who the first name? What's the first name of the?
Actually, I'm a big fan of the 1987 Dune movie.
Yeah.
That's the one I said.
That's a joke that Ash just made. And
it is the David Lynch one. Sorry, I didn't know the director. I just know that Sting's in it.
Yeah, the wrestler.
No, the front man of the Police. Yeah,
right. Okay,
he's in it.
Yeah. So, yeah. What do you enjoy this game?
So I am 40 hours in, and I've just in theory finished the prologue. I have a lot of fun with it. It's actually very fun. It is it is on my list actually to watch both Dune movies, even though this game is set in an alternate universe.
An alternate universe where spoilers.
Where, well, not spoilers, but just fucking Timothée Chalamet's character wasn't born as a boy; he was born as a girl.
Yeah,
and just the way that changed the whole landscape of things, and the Atreides house were never killed, and like that kind of thing.
Spoilers,
but everyone knows that, you know. It is the best combination of an MMO and a survival game I have ever played. It is very enjoyable in terms of moment-to-moment gameplay. I've never been this enthralled with base building. The bases you can build.
You haven't played Minecraft.
I haven't played Minecraft. No, but like in terms of like, I'm working on bases to build them so that they're architecturally pretty and they're nice, and they, like, you know, I'm adding in like decoration and furniture that isn't actually practical. It's just, it'll make the place look nicer.
Sounds like Animal Crossing.
A little bit, yeah. But then on top of that, like the interactions with like the sandworms are fucking insane. The moment to moment, the kind of working my way up. I've literally probably for the last like 5-6 hours, I've had my ornithopter now, which changes the game completely and gives it a whole new outlook. Yeah, I'm loving it. Even like, it's quite funny. I'm interested, like I've just met Austin. I can't remember I don't know who his surname is from the movie. His character in the game, but he's completely different. Like, he's this charismatic, talkative character that isn't this fucking psychopath like he is in the movies and stuff, from what I've seen. And he has hair. Like, yeah, it's there's a lot. It's a really deep, rich story. Like, it's not just tacking on Dune for the sake of tacking on Dune. It's got this really rich, fulfilled storyline to it. There's lots of places to explore, things to farm. There's like, you know what should have sent me out of what should have made me stop playing the game was around about the 20-hour mark. I had done a bunch of farming for items, a bunch of resource gathering, and on my way back to the base, I got eaten by the sandworm.
Yeah, that'll happen, eh?
And if you are, unlike every other death in the game, if you're eaten by the sandworm, you lose everything. You lose everything you had on your person, everything you had on your bike, absolutely everything. You just get dropped back into the game naked.
I kind of like this.
And that fucking devastated me. But it was so fun to start again and to build up again, and to kind of have that as, you know, there is sections of like sand that you have to farm that is on the desert areas that the sandworm patrols. So you kind of have to like
farming spice. Yeah,
you're farming spices, or like there's like flower sand. And there is a big mechanic with spice where you're like managing your addiction to spice. Like, the more you use it, the better you have as a tolerance for it, so you're not like getting the withdrawals as badly. But the moment you come down from spice, visions start happening in the open world. So like, I saw a video from somebody's perspective of like, they had like a giant giraffe that was on fire walking across screen. And like the first time I did it, there was all this like yelling going on in my headphones and like random shadowy figures walking throughout the world while I was like driving around.
Sounds like an advertisement for drugs.
Yeah, it's 100%. It's like a weird mechanic for drugs, but yeah, I'm loving it. I'm having a lot of fun. It is there is plenty of balance between doing bounties and doing missions and exploring, to then base building and fucking around and kind of paying, like, even like it has like systems like paying taxes on your bases, where you have to make sure that you're keeping up with the paying taxes. And
that's a life lesson, you know?
Yeah, 100%. It's a life lesson. It is it's really interesting that, like, and everybody bases are naturally kind of protected, but the moment you're not there, like, eventually, like, if your base runs out of power, it'll start get like eroded by the desert. It is like a really good happy medium of harsh survival, but then at the same time, very easily manageable survival that as long as you're playing the game, you should be able to manage it. And yeah, it's not a big deal. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's been very successful. The numbers and Steam concurrent count and all that sort of stuff have been quite high. I know the developer said that they're going to add riding sandworms in a future update. So,
but it's even got stuff like it's even got like just down to like just little things like you tell the developers actually cared. Like if you've loaded up your inventory, if you're ornithopter, like it's got it in the game where you can just grab things directly out of your inventory and put it in the vehicle's inventory and just put it into chests. And then like all of your building comes directly out of your chest. You don't need to like grab things out and put it in your pockets and then run over and like it's got so many good quality of life things. It has in-game like voice comms that is just perimeter based voice comms that you can like talk to people going past and like have interactions with people over dumb shit and just it's a really I'm really enjoying it. It is, it's something.
I feel like this is a case where a lot of people, whenever this game was, because this game was in a lot of showcases for like 2 years there, and everyone like used to just roll their eyes at it. So maybe the moral of the story is don't judge.
But the thing is, this game could have very easy, and this is the thing. It also because at the same time they announced that RTS, the Dune Spice Wars RTS, which didn't have much fanfare.
That one definitely only got one trailer. This one has got like a lot.
But it's like okay, you go okay. Oh, these people they're being very. It's probably a hit and run with the IP. It's very kind of big. Not all the things that they're promised are like. It works. Like it really works. Like using thumpers to lure the worm over away from everybody else so you can like run onto the sand and quickly grab things or like slowly walking out into the sand to the sand patch to start farming your flower sand and it's even like stuff like you have shields in the game and bullets don't easily pass through the shields, but if you use a charged up left click that becomes a slow attack, the slow blade will get through the shield. So there's a lot of in-universe lore mechanics at work in the game. Like you have to so you're at the point where you have to while you're playing, you have to choose between which house you're going to join. Are you going to side with the Atreides or side with the Harkonnens?
Who do you side with?
With the Atreides because and the different depending once you get to a certain level with each with the faction that you're with, you then get an architecture pack for your building that is their style, so you can make your base an Atreides base.
You didn't just want something that's black and white and dreary and
that was the big that was one of the things is their bases are all crappy and but you go to Arrakis, you go to the city of the Atreides or the Harako village, which is the Harkonnens village, city. There's all sorts of different mechanics going on, or it's at the minute it's just been fantastic to play through and build and the game kind of the first base you build the game then kind of leads you to migrate to a different base in a different area of the map, and the map's fucking huge. And if you're not paying attention, you can be an idiot like me and just drive into quicksand and lose your bike, so you have to rebuild that shit. But it's just full of. It's got all the survival aspects. It's got all the exploration. It's got the difference between wearing still suits and wearing normal armor for combat. Or if you're exploring, you have a still suit so you can get some of your sweat and drink that thing up, slurp it up. Or the world, early game is so centered about water, about making sure your
universe is about water.
Yeah, is it? But it's I'm at the point where water isn't as much of a problem because it's you start with extracting blood from people you've killed and turning that into water for yourself. Now I'm at the point where you kill somebody, you bag that shit up, you take that body home with you, and you put it in the death still, and it slowly squishes the body into water. Just
gets all that water, baby.
Gets all the water out, and just and you get it's so. Yeah, it's so funny and so interesting and we're so my friends and I were excited. We have the new base that we're building is massive, and we're our entrance is a grand hall that is just those beds just lined up all the way along the grand hall entrance. Just so it's it's just a lot of cool shit. It's a lot of fun. It's yeah, I'm excited to keep playing.
What do you reckon they would need to add, like once you reach the end game and you're like...
So in the end game, you then get to a section called the Deep Desert, and that is PvP.
Okay.
So that's where you start fighting over different objectives and doing things as a representative of your house and like getting end game gear and exploring that section and yeah, they're already in a pathway where they're going to be releasing more DLCs for the game and more sections to explore and things to do, or even like it's really interesting that like the characters from the movie, the like Fade, I've just played a mission with him, interacting with him, even though he's completely different to how he was portrayed in the movie. Like and I like the version of him, and it's all like,
who the fuck is this character that you wanted to go?
Austin McBroom's character.
I don't know.
Is it Austin McBroom? The bald-headed one from Dune Part 2 that
Austin Butler?
Butler, fucking hell. So I don't know why I said McBroom. Austin McBroom is the basketballer, I think.
Fade Rutherford Harkonnen?
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah. So if you type that, but then type like Dune Awakening afterwards, you'll see the version of him in the game, and he's like he's got hair and he's a cool dude. And I literally, it's funny, you play through the mission and he's called like dashing nobleman for most of the first mission. And I'm like, I was chatting voice chat with one of my friends and I was like, dude, this dude's great. I'm like, this dude's really cool. He's like, yeah, wait till you find out who he is in the movies. And then you'll be like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, okay, that's interesting.
Or like, you're one of the characters you're interacting with a lot, or I started to interact after the prologue, is Paul Atreides' counterpart, the daughter Ari. Seeing her become involved and seeing how she interacts with the story. Yeah, there's so much deep kind of, they're really like building a story. There is quest progression, there is mission progression, but on top of it there's this fantastic survival game and MMO on top of it that is all a lot of fun.
Do you reckon it's so you said you'd watch the movies or whatever, but do you reckon it's like really piqued your interest in this world and stuff?
Definitely, 100%. Like I definitely will be watching the movies. I don't know if I'll ever read the books because I've all I've been told
Even
is
I
like
haven't read
the
the
book
books,
is
so-
rough, like in terms of it's very dry and it's very
That's what
political, and I know
yeah.
it's all I've ever been told. So I'm like, okay, I'll avoid that. But definitely been meaning to sit down and watch the movies and start getting more of that context in.
Yeah, cool. It'll be good because it's funny when you're saying stuff like there's shields and like slow things will get through them or whatever.
Yeah, so which I know is part of the universe, and I understand. But I'm like saying like it shows that they've incorporated that into the game and incorporated that into the world. Yeah,
no, it does look cool. I've been I every time I see clips and stuff of it, I'm like, that looks cool. It's a game. I'm glad it's doing well considering.
Also has like Mario style climb anything. Mario style, fucking Zelda style. Zelda's Breath of the Wild style climb anything with your stamina, and it just makes really cool.
Very cool. I kind of just wish I could fly around a Thopter and just
flying around a Thopter. Flying around the Thopter is really cool because you turn into like vulture mode and you just start like you turn the engines off and you're just gliding around the place, and it's a lot of it's good shit.
Very good. All right. I think that will do it for this week's episode of Arcade Couch. Of course, let us know your comments, thoughts, and concerns about anything we talked about in this week's episode on socials, explosionhour.com, at explosionhour.com on Blue Sky, all the socials at Explosion Pod, at Explosion Network. Next week, don't remember. I thought I was going to say something. I just forgot it. But more Death Stranding probably is the answer to that question. Same here, same time, same place. Goodbye.